I just watched the Demon. Well, not just watched it. I watched it last night, and it's peak. You should go watch it. That's about it for the non-spoiler portion of this review. I don't want to say much about it. We're about to get into spoilers right now. So first thing right off the gate that I want to talk about, it's two things. Number one, why is so many people fighting at Demon Slayer showings? Like, bro, I went my theater. There was about to be a fight breaking out in my theater, which was crazy. That has never happened. What happened was these group of guys, fully grown men, by the way, probably older than me, if not my age. They came in like 20 minutes late. Like the movie already got into the action, and well, the movie doesn't take long to get into the action. I think it gets into the action after like the first like 5 to 10 minutes, but that's besides the point. Movie's already in action. And these guys show up like 20 minutes late and they come in flashing their flashlights, talking loud as hell. And this one guy sitting a few rows back shushed them. Now, mind you, I'm from New York, right? So the thing is with New York is there's a lot of dickheads in this city, bro. I gotta keep it a stack. Like, there's a lot of dickheads here, and especially as of lately. I don't know what it is, what they've been, maybe it's in the tap water or something, but there's a lot of dickheads in New York. And that's why I mind my business, bro, because they could dead be in the wrong and would crash out. So, which leads into the guy shushed them, and one of them said, yo, who the fuck shushed me? Bro, I don't know what happened after that. All I saw was like 5 dudes standing up, going up the stairs to go fight one dude, bro. 1 dude, 5 dudes against 1. I ain't gonna lie, I commend bro for standing his ground, because best believe soon as bro said who the fuck said shush, and I see like 4 other dudes turning around, looking around, I'm staying shut. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not fighting over a movie, bro. I'm gonna just, all right, y'all got it. So that happened for like the next couple of minutes. Just a bunch of dudes, like, and mind you, like, no security came out, no theater staff came out. Like, they was all just there, just arguing and shit. I think the one dude had he had a woman with him. And the woman was kind of in between all of them, like, all right, stop. And eventually they did calm down. But once again, the group that was in the wrong, aka the dudes that was being loud and obnoxious, just kept saying suck my dick to the dude. And I'm just like, yo, y'all are fully grown men, bro. Like, my God, this shit is embarrassing, bro. And then another thing that I want to talk about is this is kind of my fault for reading into, I gotta keep looking at the camera. I got a bad habit of looking away. But there's this thing with anime fans, and I've noticed this with the Invincible community as well. I kind of have an issue with the Invincible fans for this, but y'all like to spoil shit like without warning, and it's kind of annoying because especially when it comes to shit like a show or a movie, I like to partake in the jokes and all that shit. Like, I'll be scrolling through social media, partaking in the jokes. I look in the comments too, because sometimes the comments be funnier than the actual video itself. And then someone will unsolicitedly drop a spoiler. I don't even know if that's a word or not, but someone will unsolicitedly drop a spoiler. Yo, I can't wait to see and I'm just like, yo, bro, come on. Like, and if you react, they'll be like, oh, it's your fault for reading it. It's like, my fault. I don't got Ultra Instinct for reading the comment. I don't got Ultra Instinct reading where I'm like, I can't wait for, oh yeah, like, my bad, bro. I can't just stop in the middle of reading like suddenly. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but that shit is annoying as fuck, especially the reaction. That shit just annoys me. But yeah, I got spoiled. I got some pretty massive spoilers for the upcoming 2 films. So I just decided, you know what? Let me just read the manga before I get spoiled even further. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna just start reading the manga, and yeah, I hope you guys don't get spoiled as well. Now let me actually start talking about the actual movie. For starters, I want to start off with the animation. The animation is absolutely gorgeous throughout the entire film, bro. The move, I've always said Demon Slayer is probably one of the best animated animes I've ever, one of the best animated products I've ever seen, bro. The colors, the choreography, just the sheer speed of how everything moves. It's actually insane, bro. How they done it for a regularly TV scheduled program, although they did it in a seasonal matter, but still, even other seasonal animes aren't as good and consistent as Demon Slayer. I ain't gonna lie, and that's all I gotta say. The animation is stupid fire. The story for this movie is pretty cool. It essentially revolves around 3 big fights. It's Shinobu versus Doma, Zenitsu versus Kaaku, my fault, and Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza. Let me start off Shinobu versus Doma. Shinobu fans, how y'all feeling? She's not even my favorite Hashira. She's not even like my top 3 favorite Hashira. And that shit hurt, bro. That shit hurt because for one, I felt like she did not go out in a spectacular fashion. Like, well, the only other Hashira that has died so far, Rengoku, who died like pretty flashily. Like, it was pretty cinematic, his death. It was pretty climatic. But she kind of went out like one big push and it just failed. And her death was really tragic. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I was like, damn, they really got her. Like, damn. But I mean, shit, like, fuck, that one really hurt. The animation was fire. One thing I will say, they and this isn't me complaining, but this is me saying, like, they showed a lot of like inner monologues. I would say there's flashbacks and then there's also inner monologues. Like, they'll have like a little scuffle and then they'll show Shinobu's POV or like her backstory. Well, first it was her backstory. They fight a little bit. Then it was Doma like inner monologue or some shit. They go have a little scuffle again. Then it's Shinobu's POV once again. And it was kind of like at some point by the third time they stopped the fighting for her POV. I was kind of like, okay, bro, okay. There was a part where they like reminded us of shit we already knew about, which is she can't really cut off a demon's head. Like, she's not strong enough or whatever, so she relies on thrust. She relies on essentially just what is it called, jousting. That's what I like to say. Yeah, like they kind of reminded us about it, and I was like in the moment. Well, I don't know. I remember they mentioned this before. I'm not too sure if they actually did, but I came into the movie already knowing that knowledge, or maybe I just read it somewhere. I'm not too sure, but I was kind of like, okay, we already know this, but if it's the first time they mention it, I'll say my bad. Maybe I just read it somewhere, but I could have sworn I remembered this somewhere. But they essentially just rehashed like she can't really cut off a demon's head or whatever, and I was kind of like, yeah, we know this. We know this. It was a pretty long movie. I ain't gonna lie. The movie's like 2.5 hours long. Not that I'm complaining. I actually liked that anime movies 2.5 hours long because I grew up with 50-minute long anime movies, aka like 45-minute long movies because of credits and shit like that, and to like an hour and 10-minute long anime movies where I'm like, why can't we just get like a 2-hour long movie or hour and 45, hour and 50-minute long movie? Why can't we just get that? That's just me though. I do see a lot of people complaining about the pacing for the movie because they do pause the fighting a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of disagree. I don't think that hurts the pacing. Maybe they could place it in better spots, but I mean, it's the final arc, and there's a lot of characters that we kind of don't know much about them. Like, Kaaku really needed the backstory and the motivation, all that stuff. He kind of needed that. I'm not gonna lie, because then he'll just be Zenitsu's brother, and that's it. Zenitsu's brother who turned into a demon, and that's all we would know about him. So you know, that fight kind of needed the backstory and all that stuff. And to be honest, I think the complaints are more so about the main event fight, but that's the main event of the movie, bro. We kind of, number one, we don't know anything about Akaza. So I'm about to get into that right now. We don't know much about Akaza, so we kind of needed the backstory. We also needed Tanjiro to, he starts analyzing this shit. But anyways, let me talk about Zenitsu versus Kaaku before I get too far ahead of myself. Zenitsu versus Kaaku, it was actually really good. My son Zenitsu was locked the fuck in. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, goddamn. I was kind of like, for the longest, I was like, why does he go into the arc like already serious? Like, he's not even asleep. Like, he's awake and fully like, and I was always like, I wonder why. Then watching the movie, understood it. I guess he received a letter, and I guess that told him what happened. So maybe that's what made him lock in. I'm not too sure. Maybe the manga shows more about that, and they just kind of not showed it in the anime. Who knows? Well, I mean, I don't know. But nah, that fight was super cool. Once again, like, Zenitsu kind of got worked throughout majority of the fight, but at the very end, when he did the 7th form, what was it called? Fire Dragon God or some shit like that. And the shit was so cool because, number one, I didn't even know there was only 6 forms of the thunder breathing. I didn't even know there was only 6 forms of that. And then also, the fact that he created a new form just for that fight, and it was like some tough shit. Like, I was like, God damn, bro, my son is, man, that fight was fire. It was a short and sweet one, but it was a really good fight in my opinion. Like, it was so, oh my God. And then the main event, Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza. I ain't gonna lie, the way the fight opens up is so tough. Like, they're literally just, Tanjiro and Giyu's literally just running, and they just feel rumbling until at some point, like, they feel it right above each other. They back up. Akaza drops down and is like, Tanjiro or whatever, and like starts coming right at him. And then we actually get to, so Demon Slayer, they kind of do a show don't tell kind of stuff when it comes to the character's growth. And by that, it's kind of like, you see the first time an upper rank shows up, Tanjiro can't even participate in the fight. The next time an upper rank shows up, he's helping out, but you know, he's kind of getting worked the whole time until the Swordsmith Village arc, where he's flat out fighting one. He's low-key on the defensive end, but he's fighting one. Like, he's keeping bro busy. So, you know, over time, you kind of, if you're really paying attention, you're like, oh wait, he's keeping up with upper ranks now. Like, he's no longer like, damn it, I can only watch. Like, nah, he's actually fighting them now, which was really cool. Once again, it's like a show don't tell kind of thing, where like, if you're really paying attention, you're really noticing, you're like, oh shit, he's actually fighting one this time. And this is one of those moments where they show it. You know, the last time they saw each other, Tanjiro Akaza, Tanjiro couldn't even fight. Like, bro was way too fast for Tanjiro to even see, versus now, you know, he comes straight for Tanjiro, he dodges it and slices right through Akaza's head, which was a cool moment too. Like, my theater started clapping like, woo, because that shit was cool as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. But that was one thing that was really cool, seeing Tanjiro finally able to like keep up, especially what was the upper three, I believe, especially keeping up with upper three and actually like able to, he got some pretty close calls, I ain't gonna lie. And he used some moves I didn't even know he had available to him, like that false rainbow move he did where he just vanishes, or that one move where he slashes and then like an after image of the blade kind of extends over and does an even longer slash or whatever. That was cool as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. And I ain't gonna lie, Giyu kind of took up like the not the majority of the fight, but Giyu did handle like all the like really like, I don't know how to say, all the flashy fighting. I'd say Giyu really handled it. I ain't gonna lie, Giyu awakening his demon slayer mark in the goofiest way possible. Bro literally got like slammed through a building, came back as like, my back is hurting, which has awakened my senses, my dormant senses that I haven't used in so long, which awakens his demon slayer mark, which is really cool. And he really goes back and forth with Akaza for like a calm few minutes, bro, while Tanjiro's like analyzing it and realizing like, wait, why is he able to like react to things that he doesn't even see coming? And while the fight is going on in the background, we're watching the fight between Giyu and Akaza, and the whole time Tanjiro's kind of like trying to figure out like, how is Akaza able to just do what he does, which was really cool. Until eventually, you know, Tanjiro, I like to call this Demon Slayer's version of Ultra Instinct, because that's essentially what the fuck Tanjiro did, bro. There was a part in the movie where they kind of faked out Giyu getting donuted. And I didn't realize how much I genuinely like Giyu until that moment happened, because I was kind of, when it happened, my jaw dropped, bro. My jaw dropped. I was like, they killed him. But no. It was actually Giyu gets, Akaza goes for like a pretty fatal blow, but as he was gonna attack Giyu, Tanjiro cuts off his hand at the perfect moment, and I was like, whew. Oh my god, seeing Tanjiro and Giyu fight together is like such a treat, bro. Such a treat, especially now that Tanjiro could keep up. But yeah, I had no idea I like Giyu that much. Like, and it was like literally as Giyu kept fighting and shit, I was like, I actually really like Giyu. I didn't even know that. Like, it's funny too, because I recorded a Demon Slayer video yesterday and I haven't even started editing yet. This video's probably gonna come out before that. The video game video I made. And then once everything's finally done, so this is really cool, and I genuinely believe if Akaza didn't meet his end, I think he would have surpassed Muzan, because he gets his head cut off, right? And everyone's clapping, we're all excited as fuck, like, yeah, let's go. Like, he gets his head cut off and then he tries to hold it in place to like have it regenerate, and then Giyu comes in with a clutch ass, he throws his sword straight through his head, essentially just like severing his head once and for all. And his head vanishes. We all think Akaza's gonna die, and then he doesn't. Like, his head starts regenerating. First it's just a stump, he starts fighting Giyu, and a goofy ass like PowerPoint slide happens, which I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how I felt about that. I saw it, I kind of chuckled because it was literally just pictures of Giyu fighting Akaza's body, and it's just, you just hear like each flash and each new picture is just Giyu going like but yeah, it was really cool. I genuinely believe if Akaza just kept living, I think he would have just surpassed moves on, no lie. Just because like it looks like that's his trajectory that was gonna go, that's the trajectory he was gonna go towards, which is just eventually just surpass everyone. But after everything, we finally get into his long ass backstory, which I genuinely didn't mind. I actually, you know, I always hated Akaza because I'm a Rengoku fan, but I'm not gonna lie, I still fucking hate him. But I sympathize with him because I'm not gonna lie, the way his life was, it's sad as fuck, bro. It's sad as fuck. Essentially he's poor as fuck, and he's stealing to like make money to pay for his father's medicine because his father's deathly sick. That's the thing with Demon Slayer I'm noticing. There's a lot of deathly sick people in that show. There's a lot of sad ass backstories in that show, but his father's like deathly sick. He's stealing to like pay for his father's medicine. He keeps getting caught, he keeps getting tortured as punishment, but it's literally like holding him down and just beating him with a stick. I'm like, where's there to learn from that? Like, you know, but I mean, I guess stealing is bad, but you could just put him in jail. You don't gotta break his fucking spine. And it was sad. Eventually his father passes away, and Akaza starts turning up, starts beating up a bunch of people, or maybe even killing him, I'm not too sure. And then he gets met up with this one guy. He's a martial arts trainer, which is, damn, I low-key forgot his name. Oh my god, Keizo, that's his name, Keizo. Oh my god, I don't know, I forgot about that. But Keizo eventually takes him to his dojo, introduces Akaza to his once again deathly sick daughter, and Akaza essentially just has to take care of his daughter while also training in martial arts, which kind of explains why he's such a good martial artist. There was this thing where he sees samurai, aka the Demon Slayers, as cowardly because they fight with their weapons, and he fights with his bare hands because that's how a true warrior fights, some shit like that. Well, actually, I almost forgot. Akaza's real name is Hakuji, which I'm gonna still call him Akaza because that's how we all remember him as. But he introduces Akaza to his deathly sick daughter Koyuki, which he's taking care of her. She's always apologizing for being sick, and he can't really do anything. He's like, why are you apologizing for? Like, I'm just taking care of you. And she's like, you know, I love the fireworks. And you know, she is like not expecting to live very long, and then he ends up giving her hope unintentionally too, which is such a sweet moment, by saying, well, if you can't go this year, we'll just go next year, and if it's not next year, we'll go the year after that. Which, you know, it was such a sweet moment. I'm like, oh man, I'm a very emotionally attached person, so I kind of, it don't take much to make me tear up, I ain't gonna lie. But there was a couple of moments in this movie where I teared up, just cause like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for happy shit. But eventually Koyuki ends up getting healthy, and she ends up, you know, being out and about and shit, and Akaza takes her to see the fireworks for once. And then at some point Keizo gives the dojo to Akaza, and then Koyuki offers to, well, they say they're quite fond of him, and they end up talking about getting married together. Then tragedy struck. My son went to go tell his father. His father's dead at this point. He went to his pop's grave to tell him like, yo, I'm getting married, dad. Like, look, I turned things around. I'm a better person now. Comes home, and his family's fucking dead. So essentially what was happening was Keizo took over a dojo from someone else, and a rival dojo wanted that dojo, and they just kept harassing Keizo until at some point they kind of had enough of this shit. I was like, you know what, fuck it, poisoned the water, and unfortunately Keizo and Koyuki died. One cool thing I learned on TikTok, because I ain't gonna lie, I be scrolling through TikTok like whenever I watch a movie or some shit, just to like I said earlier, take part of the jokes and shit like that. But I was scrolling through, and I saw some people talk about the hidden meanings behind Akaza. So one thing I immediately noticed, his compass needle thing was the snowflakes on Koyuki's thing. She wears a hairpin, and it's in the shape of snowflakes. So that was really cool. I noticed that immediately though. I was like, oh shit, that's his compass needle. But another thing I know, well, not that I noticed, pause. Another thing that was pointed out to me on this TikTok was actually he wears Koyuki's name on his back. The symbol on his back is Koyuki upside down. I believe it's some other phrase in Japanese, but they was like, oh, if you translate it to, what was it, Greek or some shit, or Latin, they was like, oh, it actually means Koyuki. And I was like, oh shit, that's actually cool as hell, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's like, wow, like it was in front of us the whole time, and we never would have known if it wasn't for this movie. But yeah, it adds a lot to Akaza's story. Granted, Akaza didn't remember majority of this shit. We're actually being told this as he's remembering it, which eventually leads him to essentially just giving up the fight. Like, you know, the ghost of Koyuki's telling him like, yo, you've had enough. We've seen enough. I've been calling. Why is my mom calling me? All right, now that I'm done with that, where was I at again? Well, anyways, she was kind of just telling him like, yo, we've seen enough. Stop, bro. Well, stop, babe, I guess. And yeah, Akaza essentially just gives up the fight. I'm like 100% certain if he would have just kept fighting, he 100% would have killed Tanjiro and Giyu, because they was pretty beat. As a matter of fact, at some point in the fight, Tanjiro just falls unconscious, like around the climax of the fight, because he did a lot of fighting. I ain't gonna lie. One of the sweeter moments of that is it kind of implies that Koyuki came from heaven, you know, left heaven to spend an eternity in hell with Akaza, because she'd rather be in hell with her lover, which is one of the sweetest things ever. Like, it's like, oh man, I'm telling you, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Like, once it went from like a beautiful heavenly background covered in light, slowly transitioned to just darkness and flames, I was kind of like, it hit me immediately like, oh, they're going to hell together. And I was like, she loves him that much that she'd rather go to hell with him than live in heaven, especially with everyone that she loves. And it's like, damn, bro, that shit really tugs on the heartstrings. At least for me. I don't know about you guys. All in all, it was a really great fucking movie. Like, honestly, it was a 9.5 out of 10 to me. 10 out of 10, honestly. Not even 9.5. 10 out of 10 for me. I want to rewatch it already, but movie tickets is kind of pricey. I ain't gonna lie. I saw it on Dolby, so it was like $31 for a ticket, bro. And I bought 2 tickets. I remember when tickets used to be like $18, $19, $21, $24. Now this shit's like fucking $30, bro. And I spent $27 on popcorn and a drink. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the film. Really good movie, bro. Can't wait to rewatch it one of these days, like once it comes to like, I don't know, Crunchyroll or some shit. But if you got the chance, watch it as soon as you can. Let me know if people fight in your theaters as well, because I've also been seen on TikTok. Like, it wasn't just my theater. I've also been seen on TikTok. Like, there's just a thing with people fighting in theaters, which I don't know what that's about. It's an anime movie. I know it's a shonen anime, which is gonna have a lot of fighting. But wait, is Demon Slayer? Yeah, it is. But still, that don't mean we gotta fight as well, bro. Especially in my case, where, you know, bro got shushed and decided to press the dude that shushed him. It's like, bro, you're pushing 30. What is we doing here? Let's be for real. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the film as much as I did. I really loved it, bro. And, you know, if you like what you saw, you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. Helps me out. See y'all on the next one. Peace out, everyone. Also, I almost forgot. I kind of want to start doing these type of stuff where I'm talking about, you know, products that I watched, just because, I don't know, I just like talking about stuff, and usually none of my friends are into the stuff I'm into. So I guess this is one way for me to talk about things. Anyways, till next. Oh.